Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Hall. You may call me Dr. Kennard, and this is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. Is it wrong to enjoy when others suffer? It's not moral. But what if this person is the one who's suffering?
Resist the vaccine at all costs. Resist microchips. Stop wearing face masks. Go outside. Breathe in some fresh air. Get some exercise. Eat right. Get your sleep. All that good stuff. Enjoy your life. And let me worry about the government and everybody else trying to destroy your freedoms, okay? That's what I eat, sleep, and breathe to do for all of you, and will continue to do it till I can't breathe anymore, all right? And the bottom line is, I'm not getting an injection. I'm not getting microchip. And if anybody tries to do it to me, or I'm sure millions of Americans out there, guess what? They're going to get a lead injection instead.
That was Josh Bernstein, talk show host, rabid fascist. And how is he suffering? What could be wrong with someone who's unvaccinated during a pandemic? Well, this is a story from The Friendly Atheist. Links in the description below. And what's the name of this piece? MAGA cultist who said he'd shoot anyone trying to vaccinate him now has COVID. Oh no, not Josh Bernstein. That's horrible. That's terrible. That's someone who uses their platform to spread vaccine lies. Yeah, that's horrible that he has COVID. He has it so bad that he released another video. And here is the transcript from that piece, that new video about how he's feeling now that he does have COVID. The thing is brutal. It's not the flu. It's not. You know, with the flu, it's like, okay, you're sick. You have a headache. You're sneezing, cold, stuffy, achy, this, that, right? You get some amoxicillin, which you don't get amoxicillin for the cold everyone. For the flu, you don't get amoxicillin for the flu. But that's neither here nor there. Let's just continue on. And 3 or 4 or 5 days later, you're good to go, right? Nah, this isn't like that. I literally have 0 flu-like symptoms. I'm not coughing. I'm not sneezing. I don't have a headache. I don't have a fever. I don't have chills. I don't have anything. The only thing I have is an absolutely unbearable, lethargic, tired feeling. And it's very, very odd. But, you know, it's one of those things where I just got to rest. You know, I'm not in my normal studio. I'm in my bedroom. Believe it or not, I turned it into a little studio to do this. And so we can call it, I guess, the COVID quarantine cave. And that was a transcript from his second video, from his little quarantine cave. Single tier for hate talk show host Josh Bernstein. Something to put a little bit of joy into your day. Don't you think so, Microphone? Microphone thinks it's okay to enjoy the suffering of Josh Bernstein. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, Microphone. What are some of the other stories we're going to be covering today? Let's take a look at the next tale. Their baby, oh wow, this is harsh. Their baby died in a hospital. Then it came the $257,000 bill. Look, I should have done a trigger warning. But, you know, when the show opens about enjoying another human being's pain, even if they are a horrible human being, I suppose it's, you don't know where you kind of guess where the show is going to go, right? So this is a story about a couple who lost their child and they got socked with a huge medical bill, but it's actually a lot worse than that. The link to the story is in the description. Let's go to the first panel. Brittany Lane, I'm not going to try to pronounce her middle name, gave birth to her daughter, Alexandra, a few days before Christmas in 2018. The baby had dark eyes and longish legs. She had also arrived about 13 weeks early and weighed just 2 pounds. Alexandra initially thrived in the neonatal intensive care unit at Mount Sinai West. Lane, 35, recalls the nurses describing her daughter as a rock star because she grew so quickly. But her condition rapidly worsened after an infection, and Alexandra died early on the morning of January 15th at 25 days old. A tragedy. A tragedy. Last summer, Lane started receiving debt collection notices. The letters sent by the health plan Cigna said she owed the insurer over $257,000 for bills it accidentally covered for Alexandra's care after Lane switched medical insurers. So Lane switched medical insurers. Cigna mistakenly paid the hospital. And apparently they couldn't get money back from the hospital, so now they were trying to squeeze it from the couple who had just lost their child. Lane was flummoxed. It was Cigna that had received the initial bill for care and had paid Mount Sinai West. Now Cigna was seeking the money it had overpaid the hospital by turning to the patient. Congress passed a ban on surprise medical bills last year, which will go into effect in 2022. It outlaws a certain type of surprise bill, those that patients receive from an out-of-network provider unexpectedly involved in their care. There are plenty of other types of bills that surprise patients, such as those received by the Lanes, that are likely to persist. So regardless of what Congress just passed, the kind of bills that the Lanes are fighting against from Cigna Healthcare, or have fought, because this actually is a positive story, everyone, right? Even you may think that it was such a headline that was just going to be a story of a couple being run into bankruptcy by a healthcare company, by American-style healthcare, right? Because we know that 66% of bankruptcies in the U.S. are caused by medical bills. We've covered the story. We've talked about this pandemic of bankruptcies due to medical bills, time and time again here. Let's get to the next panel. Americans are familiar with medical debt. About 18% of them have an outstanding bill from a hospital, doctor, or other type of provider in the healthcare system, but most do not expect to get collection notices for bills that were already paid by their health plan. Courtney Jones, a senior case manager with the Patient Advocate Foundation, described working in cases in which patients have received similar collection notices for bills that the insurer, not the patient, was responsible for covering. It usually happens with large medical bills, as with the Lanes, in which the insurer and the hospital have more at stake. Individual consumers, people who just want to stay healthy or want their loved ones to be healthy, they're caught in the middle between hospitals and insurance companies. Now, this is a happy ending for the Lanes. They went to the state, to their state, and complained to their politicians, and they complained. And Cigna said, oops, we made a mistake. You don't actually have to pay, even though we were going to before you went public with this horrible story. So congratulations, Lanes, you were able to survive your brush with the American healthcare system. But you have to wonder about the people who didn't get lucky, the people who just fell victim of these kind of medical bills, and they weren't able to find a way out. The next story, we're going to talk about Kentucky Fried Chicken. What? Kentucky Fried Chicken? What does the current, in COVID in New Zealand, what does New Zealand, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and what do these things have in common? I'm glad you asked. This is a real story, everyone. Link in the description below. And here's a picture of the haul that New Zealand police grabbed. A lot of chicken I don't know if it was extra crispy or not, but it was chicken. This is a tale of foul proportions. New Zealand COVID. Men caught smuggling KFC into lockdown hit Auckland. Link in the description, everyone. New Zealand police have made a bizarre arrest after a pair of alleged gang associates were caught trying to enter Auckland with a boot full of KFC chicken and tens of thousands of dollars. The men were charged with breaching the country's tough COVID-19 rules. Under Auckland's strict level 4 lockdown, all restaurants, including takeaway services, remain closed. Police said the men, aged 23 and 30, had traveled from Hamilton, about 75 miles south of Auckland, and they were bringing in sweet KFC. Police photos showed at least 3 buckets of chicken, about 10 cups of coleslaw, a large package of fries, and 4 large bags containing other KFC items. They also seized about $70,000 in cash. That's in American dollars, everyone. It is unclear whether the men intended to sell the food or if they hoped to use it as a distraction if they were to be pulled over. I want to live in a world where people, and I support lockdowns, but I would like to live in a world where these gentlemen were running a black market scheme with Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's all. Why? Because it's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. The spokesperson said the men will appear in court later in the year for breaching public health rules, but added that further charges are also likely. The investigation is ongoing. The pair's risky late-night food run means they are now face heavy punishments under New Zealand's tough anti-COVID laws. Fines can reach up to New Zealand $4,000, and some offenders can even face prison sentences up to 6 months. The men are not the first New Zealanders whose fast food cravings have landed them into trouble with authorities. Last week, a 20-year-old man was charged after he posted a video on TikTok showing him leaving Auckland and purchasing a large amount of food from McDonald's. Auckland will move to a level 3 lockdown from midnight on Tuesday. However, freedoms will still be severely limited, with residents confined to their homes unless they're attending school, work, or shopping. The rest of the country remains a level 2 lockdown, with shops, restaurants, and nightclubs all open. You know what the Bible says, everyone? You live by the bird, you die by the bird. That's old school Bible learning right there. I just want to let you know that this news roundup that I'm doing here in the morning, starting at 9 a.m., there are no ads, there are no commercials. I do cover some pretty interesting and important news stories. Please like the video. Maybe you've gotten something out of it. Please hit the subscription button. And of course, since there are no ads, the only way this show gets funded, this channel gets funded, is from viewers like you, by people who are patrons or people who are YouTube members. We're doing a 10 a.m. open room, by the way, for atheists, humanists, and progressives. You want to join us? Please do. Link to be on the panel is in the description below. You want to see something funny? I want to see something funny. I haven't seen this before. I don't know if you have. What? We should just roll the tape.
You say I don't have the votes and I won't, so I must go away. You cry, you lose, there's no fraud, that's fake news, and I won't say goodbye. I'm so sad. Remember when I had a lead that they couldn't surmount? Now you're making me mad. Magically it disappeared, now I want a recount. I'll be back, soon you'll see. Coney Barrett, she belongs to me. I'll be back. Time will tell. Pennsylvania can go straight to hell. I will rise, Joe will fall. All lives matter, but mine most of all. And if you claim I'm done, I will send another China virus to convince you that I won. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. You can't keep counting ballots after polls have closed. I don't care what the law says, they must be disposed. So no, don't take that ballot, 'cause it's a Biden ballot. A late illegal ballot, a trailing mail-in ballot. Another, no, another, no, another. I'll be back, I'll extort, I'll take each and every state to court. I'm a Trump, I'm a threat, I'm a narcissistic prick in debt. Counts are wrong, I am not. I won this election by a lot. And if you still dissent, I will kill democracy to remain the president. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
I think we've had enough of the blah blah blahs. Wasn't that great, everyone? Hey, thanks for watching. I'm gonna drop the thank you video for YouTube members and patrons. Thanks a lot, everyone. If you want to throw a couple of shekels in to my PayPal or Venmo account, feel free. The links are down there in the description. And I'll see you at 10 o'clock where we do the open road. I'm still here. I'll see you at 10. Bye.